Okay, so today I'm going to start trying to sort some stuff out with this Honda, and first thing I'm going to do is make this exhaust quieter. I can't have it in the back of the house there with it that loud, so stuff to a water wire wall. I'm going to drive that screw up now, see if it'll hold it in. It'll just blow it out, otherwise I tried it. I'm going to have to put the camera down and do it two hands. Okay, so that's screwed in. No brill, but let's see if it stays in when I start it up. That's a bit quiet there, still no brill. See if it stays in when I rev it. Alright, well that's the best I can do for now. I'll have to do it, let's bring him in. Okay, she's in a parking space, so this is the problem area. Quite easy to diagnose that. Right, first thing we're going to do is it's got this throttle body. This throttle body. Now, to me, it looks like a cheap eBay 70mm or something. I had the throttle stick in. I know from speaking to the previous owner, he couldn't get a TPS down below 1.5 volts, and they should be around about half a volt at idle. So is that contributing to the issues? We don't know, but the first thing I'm going to do is remove this, put the standard one back on, and then see what results we get from that. Then I'll go into diagnosing the engine, compression tests, etc. So say first things, get this off. There she is. Looks, it's not branded, is it?
No, I'll look for the names.
Branded ones are like 300-400 quid. That's like a £50 eBay one. Oh well, it's coming off. Yeah. Right, so we've stripped all the parts off that throttle body except for the TPS, which we think is just a cheapy one, and come back to the standard one. This is the factory TPS on there. I don't think that's been altered, so hopefully we won't have to check the voltage and that, and it'll just go straight back on. So let's see how it goes. Still start him up and see if it's if it fires. I still think it's a misfire there.
Yeah, it is, but I think it's a little bit better.
Yeah, so I'll let it get warm now and then do a compression test. Right, so David's just discovered something. Pull off the coil for number one, and the engine doesn't change. Runs exactly the same, so we got an issue with number one. Even though the code reader was showing up on all, so we're starting to get a little bit more of an idea. So we've swapped the coils number one to number two, so we'll check if the problem changes to cylinder 2. We know it's a coil.
Well, then.
Go on, a new start there now. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Wipers are on, Dave. Hang on. Let me move this box. Yeah, try it again.
Yeah.
Right, go on and try
I'll try 2 now.
alright, so there's problem on number 1. Definite problem number 1. Right, so the next thing we're going to try is swapping an injector, see if it's a blocked injector. It's not firing, so let's see how that results. Hopefully we'll have a little bit of result from that. I don't want it to be anything inside the engine, so I shall report back when we swap them over. Right, so injector swapped over, we swapped 1 and 2, so give them a start. The misfire is still there, but now unplug number 1 coil. Still number 1. Well, he's supposed to put new plugs in it to try and cure it.
That's made no difference.
Plug it back in. Undo number 3.
So the first 2 is not doing nothing. I find a bit more of that.
Unplug 1 and 2 again. Whoa, it's only running on number 3 and number 4. Well, let's knock it off then. Oh wow. Right, I think let's just get it up to temperature, get a compression test and go from here. Right, so just about a compression test number 1. Yeah. Okay. Right, so we got a hell of a lot of compression there. We got 220 psi. So that is strong compression in number 1. I'm not sure what it's supposed to be, we'll have to find out. Alright, okay, let's test number 2. Go on then. Okay. 220, smack on again. Right, okay, let's test number 3.
Ready?
Yeah, go on. Okay, that's about 219, so that's good. Okay, so here's number 4. Go on then. Okay, I'd say that's about 221. Right, consistent compression, perfect. I am happy. The engine's not knackered. Right, this is about 2 weeks since I last done anything on the Civic now, but that's because this has been taking up my time. But we have got a special delivery. Last, I think we left off in the video, I've narrowed it down to injector issues, so picked up a second-hand set off eBay. Not the best. That one's turned up, it's missing the cap there, but that's alright, I only need 2. So we're going to look at whether it's actually an injector problem or is it a wiring loom, because at the moment where we left off a couple of weeks back we were left running on only 2 and 3, and I narrowed it down to injectors. So I'm going to swap out a few injectors. I know number 1, number 4 is not running. I'll swap them and see if that makes a difference, and if it's not the injectors it's got to be the wiring. So make a start. Right, so this is where I'm at. The engine will run on 2 and 3, but 1 and 4 are not firing. Now when I swapped all the injectors on, originally from the very start, number 1 injector just wasn't running. So when I made swaps I lost 1 and 4. So with a spare injector, with the engine running, if I plug the spare injector into number 4, I can hear it click in. So the wiring's fine. Plug in number 1, and there is no click, the injector's not firing. So this is my theory at the moment. I think that the injector that's in number 4 that used to be in number 1 wasn't running because of something in the wiring, and it's become blocked. So when I've swapped it, that's where I've lost 2. So electrically number 4 is working, but has now got a blocked injector. Number 1 is electrically not working, but has an unblocked injector. So that's where I'm at now. I just have to find out why is number 1 not running. So I'm going to peel the wiring back and see if I can find a break in the loom somewhere. Right, so we now get into the really clever stuff, which is a little bit too clever for me, but I'm trying. Right, I've swapped injectors, put 2 good ones back in number 1, number 4. Connected number 4 on, that's running. I haven't connected number 1 on yet because when I connect the voltmeter, that's running a full 13 volt. All the others are running 1 volt. So the problem has happened. That's been running full power to the injector and has blown the injector. So this is where I'm at now. I've now gone into the ECU. Now because they should be switched earths, I've traced back, and this brown wire here is injector number 1. So I'm now going to plug it in, get the engine running. I'm going to take some readings from there to see if that's firing 13 volts or full volts really. So I think what's happened is somewhere in the loom, the earth, the trigger wire have shorted somewhere on the body or from some other wire and is getting full power. I think that this wire, which has been run through for a sub by a previous owner, may have something to do with maybe chaffing a wire and something's rubbing on the body. So I'm going to look into that, but yeah, that's where I am now, but at least we're getting somewhere. Right, so we go for a real ghetto fix. I've run this wire now, obviously just temporary, right through to the ECU. Made a connection in there, and we're going to start the engine, and then I'm going to test the voltage at the injector plug. If I plonk the camera there, we can read the voltage now. Hopefully if we only get about 1 volt, we know it's sorted. Right, fire them up. Disconnect the alarm. It's the other one. Right, so we've got a problem. Get them on, so we're still running full volts. They're not connected properly a minute. Right, switch them off. Right, so the problem is not the wiring. It's the signal is coming from the ECU. For some reason the ECU is sending
wrong voltage.
Yeah, if I'm reading it right. Not as straightforward as I thought then.
Unplug it.
Right, so the temporary wiring is done. We plugged in, and that's going to get changed. But anyway, we're going to start it up now. So see how it's running. There's a peg in there, that flipping immobiliser. There it is, running smooth. So at least we've got to cause the problem. Now let's go on a test drive. up that wire.
Pick it up.
Pick up that wire well now, it blew out. Right, let's see what first gear does then.
That's doing alright.
There's my water wire well over there, look. Woof! That's been on fire. It looks like, doesn't it? There you are. Right, so I retrieved my wire wool from the road. That looks burnt. But to go back in the back garden is so noisy, I'm going to have to stuff it back in. I've got to try and keep it quieter just for in the back. Get in there. Oh, give me a big stick. Hunk of junk. I can't wait to put a standard exhaust back on that. Wedge him in. Oh! Get in there. Sell this exhaust after one lovely owner. Oh! Right, so there it is, purring like a kitten. But I don't think I can keep it running on that way I've wired it up. I think I'm going to have to look into getting a new ECU, to be honest here, because it's not running the full voltage that it should be running to each injector. It's running about 50%. Runs okay, but obviously I don't want to be passing on the car with a bodge like that, so now I'm just going to find out if I change the ECU, is it a case of I got to swap the locks and keys and all of that. So anyway, that wraps up this episode. Thanks for watching, stay tuned for the progress on the car. Bye.